So my final explanation is, why do we add this? Well, I'll show you. We're going to put this into brackety brackets so it doesn't interfere. So the final one is, why does this here produce 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Now this will output the product of the array. All right. So this loop will show you the value of I at each iteration. Okay. So I'll show you, right? It's going to be 0, 1, and 2. Okay. So this can be 0, 1, or 2. That's our first loop. Our second loop can be either, well, I'll put it straight away because it can either be 0 or 1. Okay? It can be 0 or 1. And it's going to happen 3 times. Yeah, 0, 1. Okay. And the final loop is going to be the product of both loops working together. All right? So I'll give you an example. Y is first 1, right? Because if you look at array, so array iteration 0 is going to be this here. And then in here, J is going to be J can be either 0 or 1. So on the first iteration is going to be 0, right? So this is effectively what the loop does, right? It goes like this: array. So the first one is 0, right? And then 0. Now remember that this loop is stuck on 0, right? So it's going to repeat again: array 0. Only this time it's going to be 1, because we paused our I on 0, and now our J, is 1. Okay, boom. Because the length is now exactly the same as J. All right, so J is now equals length. This one is going to stop. So now we go back to here, right? But now I is equal to 1, right? So it executes 1 and moves to the next function, which again, in here is going to be 0. Oh yeah, I forgot. It's going to be 1. Yeah, so array 0, 0 is going to be 0, 0 is going to be 1. 0, 1 is going to be 2. Now 1 and then array is going to be 0. So 1 is this, 0 is 3. So this will output 3. This will output 2. Yeah. Now again, remember that we are still on our second iteration in our second loop, because the first loop is on pause. So array is going to be 1, and this is going to be second iteration, which is going to be 1 again. Remember that j can be either 0 or 1. So this will loop, and it will result in array 1. Array 1 is this, and within the array, object 1, which is this. This will result in 4. Then, now, the second loop has now finished. Now we go back to the first loop again. The I is now 2. Right? So it pauses and it goes to 0 in this loop. This will output, so array 2, which is this one here, object 0, which is 5. It outputs 5. And then finally, array 2 again, because we're still in our first, the first one is paused. And then the second one can only be 0 or 1. And if we look at the array, object 2 and object 1 inside there is 6. Now, it will no longer loop again, and the reason for that being is because now the length is now bigger. Well, the I is no longer bigger than the length. So the whole loop just simply stops. Okay, and that's pretty much it. That's how it works. It's confusing, but just the easiest way to kind of self-explain it is very simple, right? Putting console log, right? Put in the console log. It will show you what's going to happen here, right? You see? So I can be either 0, 1, or 2. Type this out. Second thing is put in console log for j. And then type this out. Let's make it cleaner. Yes, okay. So j can be either 0 or 1. And it will be executed 3 times. x3, right? And then you can just type it out, right? You can just type it out. Because logically speaking, right? If you put in this thing here, you can see how this is received, right? Because first I is going to be 0, and then j is going to be 0 or 1. So that gives you 1 and 2, right? It's just logical. It's very, very logical. And just bear with it. Eventually you'll get it. So take care.